Hi everyone, it's Dawn. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'd like to share with you my super easy 10-minute makeup look for summertime. I'm not using nearly as many products as I would normally use. I'm using some multitasking products, and I'm using a mix of high-end and drugstore, and I think every product is from a different brand. I didn't plan it that way, but I believe that's the case. And I'm dividing this video up into two sections. The first part will be this one that you're watching. It will be my Complexion products to just get all the makeup on my face, including my sun protection. And then I will do a part two where I'm going to show you a super easy everyday eye look that you can wear no matter what you're doing, and that will be in part two, and I'll link that video down below in the description box. But I think I'm going to go ahead and upload them both at the same time, and I'll have them labeled in the title, part one and part two. So I hope you enjoy this. It's a little bit chatty. I haven't chatted with you in a while, so I thought I would make a chatty video. So even though it's a super easy makeup look, it takes longer, and the eyeshadow that I want to share with you, I have a lot of explaining to do about it. That's why I did a part two. So anyway, let's just jump in and get started. I don't have anything on my face except my skincare, and all I've been doing in the morning is cleansing my face. And if my skin is feeling a little bit dry, I'll add some of the La Roche-Posay hyaluronic acid serum. It's a really good serum, but sometimes I find that this this one from La Roche-Posay, the SPF 50, I think it has some vitamin C in it as well, is hydrating enough on my sort of combination oily skin. So I'll get up in the morning and I'll cleanse my face. I'll decide if I need to put any kind of serum on to combat any issues I'm dealing with. And then I spray the thermal water from La Roche-Posay on my face, and then I apply this SPF all over my face, my neck, my ears, and I'm pretty generous with it. And it doesn't leave me too greasy. It soaks in, and it really works well beneath all of the foundations that I've tried so far since I started using it. I really like it. I used to use this one, the Australian Gold. This is a mineral and it's tinted. They're very, very different, but I don't know which one I like more. So I'm just using this one right now. I wanted to try something a little more hydrating. This one can be a little bit dry, or not drying, but more mattifying, and it does kind of change your foundations a little bit. And now the foundation that I have been loving is from Revolution, and I'm not sure if this is Makeup Revolution or Revolution Pro. I know that they're like the same company, but there's like two different names, and this just says Revolution on the bottle, and this is the IRL in real life filter foundation. My shade is F3. It's long wearing, and it's like a soft kind of velvety matte finish that I really like. I talked about this in a monthly favorites, I believe, and it's such a good foundation. And so I just have a little on my hand, and it's not too runny or watery, but it's not super thick either. And I like to apply it either with a sponge or a brush. It works great either way. And so I'm just gonna use my sponge because I had time today, and I didn't mind running to the bathroom and getting my sponge damp. You know, sometimes I'm in more of a hurry, and then I'll just grab a makeup brush. But lately I've been really enjoying a sponge again. I go through phases where I really like a brush, and then I go through other times where I just really like to use my makeup sponge. So I know that everybody has like their preference. Let me know in the comment section what you like to apply your foundation with. Do you prefer a sponge, or do you prefer a brush? Or I know fingers are really common too, and I try to use my fingers very rarely. For some reason, I don't know, I feel yucky. Maybe because my fingers get dirty, you know, afterward, and I don't want to touch all my bottles and things like that. So I feel like that's kind of a pain. But if I'm in a pinch, or like if we're on vacation and I forget my sponge or brush, which happens, then I'll use my fingers, and it's fine. And then I wonder why I don't use my fingers more often, but it's just a habit I can't get into. One of you commented recently about my applying foundation on my eyes, how I just go like this and I go over my eyes, and you asked me if there was like a reason why I do that, why I don't just use my concealer. And to be honest, I just find that it's a habit ever since I started wearing makeup when I was like 15 years old, when I was allowed to wear foundation, maybe 16. That's what I did. I started applying it that way. And I feel like it makes like a nice canvas for my eyelids too. I didn't start wearing eyelid primer till like a year ago, and I felt like it really did a good job of preventing my eyeshadows from creasing. But I have since started using eyelid primers, and I think the reason for that is because I don't know, I'm just getting older and my eyelid skin gets oilier. It's weird. Certain parts of my skin are getting oilier and some parts of my skin are getting drier as I'm aging. But I always have oily eyes. My skin gets oily throughout the day. Really like in my T-zone, like, but in this area, it's not quite a T. It's kind of like a tree zone. It's like a tree. So that's why I do that. So just put a little, I'm gonna do my eyes last because I thought that if this video starts to get too long, that I can break it into 2 parts. And I usually put on my foundation, then I put on my eye makeup, and then I work my way down. But I'm gonna do something different today. I'm gonna do really easy brows today, and I'm just going to use my Glossier Boy Brow. This was my favorite for a really long time, but lately I've been using some products from NYX, but I don't want to neglect this. I wanna use it up and decide if I would like to purchase it again, which I think I will, but this is in like the either auburn or strawberry shade. I think it's called auburn, but it's a really good product. I have some really long brows. I don't know if you can see that brow hair sticking right out. I don't know why it's doing that. I must have slept on it and I have bed brow. My brows used to be so thick when I was younger, and I would have to like make sure they were nice and neat because they would look really silly when they would get messed up. So when I wake up with wonky brows, like I have now, I don't really want to trim them or pluck them out. So I usually use this little product. It's like a clear gel from Anastasia. I know NYX makes one and I need to pick it up because I'm out of this one, but I don't want to repurchase it because it's expensive. So I'm just going to take the spoolie and dip it into my Anastasia brow pomade. This is another really good product, and it will make that brow hopefully lay down very nicely. There we go. I'm trying to not pluck my brows and let them grow naturally to see what they'll do, because I've always kind of plucked them and tried to fill them in and follow the brow trends, and now they're back to like thinner but more natural. So I'm just trying to see what my brows are going to do when it's up to them. I'm just going to apply the Bare Minerals bronzer in Kiss of Pink, and I just have my dual fiber stippling brush and I just swirl it around. I really prefer this one to the Kiss of Copper for my fair skin. At first I wasn't sure which one looked better on me, but after playing around with them for a few days, I think this one's much more flattering on someone with a skin tone as fair as mine. The Copper is fine, but it's just a little too orangey for me, I think. I have to be very careful with that one. And it just warms up my whole face. I use it like a bronzer and a highlighter and a blush in one. I just love it because it's so quick and easy and just such a pretty shade of peachy pink. So did you guys all have a nice weekend? We had such a nice, relaxing weekend. The past few weekends have been really busy with Memorial Day and moving my daughter into her house for college. And it was just so nice to not have to be anywhere. It was a little bit overcast and rainy on Saturday, but yesterday was absolutely beautiful. We rode our bikes, we assembled some patio furniture, and we just had a really nice, relaxing weekend. And I feel ready for it to be Monday because it was such a nice weekend. You know, sometimes we have such busy weekends that by the time Monday gets here, we're just tired and we need another weekend to relax from our weekend. So for powder, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Halo Glow, which is so pretty. It just adds that really soft radiance to my skin, makes my foundation look better, and it sets everything. If I were going to be outside a lot today, I would have selected the Physicians Formula Mineral Wear because this has an SPF of 30 in it, and it's really nice to reapply to have more protection over the sunblock that you're already wearing if you have makeup on over it. For lips, I'm trying out a new lip liner from Makeup Forever. These are not new, but I've heard YouTubers talk about these for such a long time. I finally decided just to pick one up and try it, and I picked mine up in a nude shade, and it's called 1C. And I'm not sure what the name is. I'm sure it has a name, but I don't have my glasses on, which brings me to my next topic, but I can't read it. So it's 1C, and these are waterproof. They're the Aqua Liner for lips, and I believe they make Aqua Liners for eyes that are also waterproof, and I'd like to try those next. Let's go ahead and try this. I have tried it, and it does seem to really be long lasting. The first time I wore it, I thought, I don't get all the buzz. Everybody raves about these, that they're waterproof and that your lipstick might wear off or your lip product, but this will stay put. And I realized I made a mistake. I had applied chapstick, or actually MAC Prep and Prime, on my lips prior to applying this. And you can't have anything emollient on your lips when you apply this, or it won't adhere. So if you've ever tried these and didn't have success, that could be the reason why. Your lips have to be like really clean and dry. And speaking of clean and dry, anytime you're wearing anything long wearing on your lips, you want to make sure your lips are pretty hydrated and don't have any chapped or dry skin, because long wearing products just look terrible on chapped lips. So let me apply this. And you could even fill in your lips with this and just apply a gloss over it. Yesterday I wore this all over my lips, and I just applied Buxom White Russian over it, and it was so pretty. But today I wanted to share with you a lipstick that's new to me. I picked it up from the drugstore, and it's from Revlon, and it's their cream formula, or their like pearl formula, and it's called Pink Pearl. And I love this color so much. I think it would be a beautiful color to wear all year round. It's not particularly a summer color or a fall winter color, but it's just a really just pretty universal kind of mauve-y pink, and it's pearlescent. Let me show you how pretty it looks. It's a little bit opaque, and it's so hydrating. It gives enough pigment. I have some dry skin. It gives enough pigment to look like you're polished and finished, but it's kind of opaque. It reminds me a lot of NARS Sexual Healing, which is a favorite of mine. I should compare them and see if So now that I'm looking at Sexual Healing, it's not an exact dupe, but the finish, that sort of shimmeriness and opaqueness is the same, and they feel the same on my lips. And this is Sexual Healing, and it's not the same color, but it's still equally pretty. And this is Pink Pearl from Revlon. It's a little more, I guess I see some more coral in it. This one's definitely more like a bluish pink, a pink that has a little bit of bluish undertones. And this one is a pink that has more coral undertones, but they're both really beautiful. So I've got Pink Pearl on right now, and this is how it looks. And I think I'm just gonna finish just chatting a little bit, and I'm gonna make this video part 1, and then I'm gonna put up a second video, which will be part 2, because I have a lot to say about the eye makeup, even though it's super simple. I don't want this video to be too long, but what I was gonna say is that my friend Elaine came and visited me last week on Thursday. Now, she's my best friend who's lived in the neighborhood I live in, and we met when my eldest daughter was 5, and so her middle daughter was 5, and she lived in my neighborhood for about 12 years, and she was like my oldest friend in my neighborhood where I live. Well, now I've been here for almost 20 years. She had to move. Her husband had a job change, and they moved to Seattle, and I was heartbroken, but I went and visited her, and we would go see like Beth Moore in like live. Like we would go to, like, if you've ever done a Beth Moore Bible study, she had a conference in Seattle, so I went there for that, and I saw her, and I was able to tour Seattle, which was a wonderful experience because I'd never been out to the Pacific Northwest, and she didn't like it there. It was just way too rainy for her, and she's someone who needs the sun all the time. So then she moved to Georgia, where she lived before she moved here in the first place. So then she moved back to Georgia, and it changed a lot from what she remembered. She always dreamt of going back to Georgia. She loved or Atlanta. She loved the sun, she loved the people. And so she went back there, and she was fine. And they got all settled into their home, and it was great. But she said that some of the relationships with the people that she knew had kind of changed a little bit when she went back. And then her husband had another job change. So then she went from there to Sacramento, which is where she lives now, and she loves it. So anyway, that's a little bit about my best friend, one of my very best friends. And so she came to visit me, and we had a wonderful visit last Thursday. It really lifted my mood. And then I kind of set myself on like a positive note. You know, I had been feeling in a funk, and I've been really focusing on positivity. I actually pulled out my old Bible. I have like the Message translation, and I have the NIV Study Bible, but this was like one of my first Bibles that I won in a raffle when I went away to college. I was in nursing school, and I won this Bible, and this was like 30 years old, from West Suburban College of Nursing. I won this, and it's my women's devotional Bible, and it's not really a study Bible, but it has every few like books, it'll have like a woman write a little passage out about how some of the verses applied to her life. It's a really lovely Bible. So I pulled this back out, and I've been reading this, and I've been really enjoying getting back into the Word, and it's been lifting my spirits a lot. So there's that. But Elaine is like my Bible study friend. She's someone I studied the Bible with, you know, and she was from my Bible study group, and I don't know, it just kind of got me back into what I normally would do before COVID and everything hit. Because when COVID hit, everything closed down and went virtual, and I stopped going to Bible study, and we started doing it on Zoom, and then I just kind of stopped altogether. So I need to get back into that, because that really does help me. And the other thing, well, maybe I'll save the next thing that I got an idea to do in part 2. So thank you for spending part 1 with me. I hope you like some of these products. Super simple. I don't have any bronzer on. I don't have any highlighter on, except the Halo Glow from the powder that gives you a little bit of luminescence. So it's a very simple look. You don't have, it's not fussy. You don't have the bronzer. You don't have the highlighter. But you look really polished and finished. And I think it's a great light go-to summer makeup look. So I hope I will see you in part 2. I'm gonna drink a little coffee, and then we'll do my eyes. See you next.